Marina Alexis. She should be a writer.
One major subject of debate among the Pretty Little Liars fanbase is whether or not Mona deserved to be included in the sacred bond between the core liars. What many fans may have forgotten, though, is that at one point it seemed like the show was headed in that very direction. For some time in 2013, it appeared that Mona was truly going to become the official fifth liar, alongside Aria, Emily, Hannah, and Spencer. Why did the show not continue down that path? While there doesn't appear to be a solid answer, today I'll be outlining why I believe the direction of Mona's character was changed. The start of Season 4 clearly indicates that Mona is on track to becoming the fifth member of the Liars group. The season premiere as a whole closely parallels the pilot episode, from the Liars waking up to find Alison/Mona gone, to the ending exchange between the girls and a likely sketchy cop outside of a funeral service. Mona's inclusion in this episode, between the iconic Mini-Me Liars scene and her presence during the concluding shot of the camera panning out over the spooked girls, makes it obvious that the writers intended on sending a clear message. Mona is now part of the group. Interviews with Marlene Kane, PLL's showrunner and head writer, support this narrative as well. At various points prior to the start of Season 4, she referred directly to Mona's upcoming role as the fifth liar. We come into Season 4 exploring what it means when you get an adjunct PLL, which is now Mona, their former tormentor, she explained in an interview with TV Line. It's very cool to come into the season with 5 PLLs. So with all of that in mind, what changed? Obviously, Mona's intended role as the fifth liar never ended up coming to fruition, despite such certainty surrounding the Season 4 premiere. In fact, it was during Season 4 itself that Mona's role started to be relegated to the supporting character she portrayed in the later seasons, rather than the key player that we'd gotten used to seeing. Like I said, there's no definite answer as to what happened with Mona's liar status, but I have my theories. To start off, having rewatched much of the first half of Season 4, I've realized that Mona's time as an adjunct liar, to quote Marlene Kane, isn't truly dropped as early as it might seem. The several episodes following the premiere follow the trend of the liars reluctantly putting up with her presence.
I'll catch up to you guys at lunch.
Okay, we'll meet you in the courtyard.
And noticing her absence in a way that they never had before.
Where is Mona?
I don't know, she wasn't at school.
Over the course of the rest of the season, Mona's role is far more limited than you would expect from the supposed liar in training, but there's still a noticeable shift in how the liars seem to view and perceive her.
Mona is not the enemy anymore.
This culminates when Mona goes missing after turning herself in for Wilden's murder, with A leading the girls to believe that her life may be in danger. One of the main plot points of the mid-season finale centers on the liars scrambling to find Mona, and presumably save her from A's clutches, and their concern over her well-being is evident and surprising even to themselves.
I never ever thought that we would be saying poor Mona.
Can't stop thinking about Mona.
And then, it's unceremoniously dropped. The second half of Season 4 brings us the knowledge that Alison is alive and Ezra is the newest A suspect, and Mona returns abruptly to her role as the snarky, shady recurring character that the liars clearly don't trust as far as they can throw. Her brief stint as the fifth liar is never mentioned again, and no further attempts to integrate Mona into the group are ever seriously made. Watching Season 4's progression, I believe that the decision to discontinue Mona's role as one of the group was likely made in the break between Seasons 4A and 4B. With this in mind, the biggest reason I believe this decision was made was Alison. Alison's return from the dead in Season 4B, and her return to Rosewood in 5A, cemented her status as the fifth main character of PLL. Whether she was part of the group of liars or their biggest A suspect, Allie was second only to the quartet of Aria, Emily, Hannah, and Spencer in terms of screen time and storylines. She gained immediate inclusion in the promotional posters, and Sasha began to join Ashley, Troyan, Lucy, and Shay in behind-the-scenes interviews and press circuits. It was at this point in the show that the group of 4 liars officially expanded to 5, and it was Alison, not Mona, who earned the new title. I believe it's likely that the writers came to the final decision during the break between 4A and 4B to bring Alison back as a main protagonist and possibly eventually integrate her into the group of liars.
We can handle Jenna now. There's 5 of us and 1 of her.
Because of this, they essentially decided to forego Mona's role as a liar in favor of Alison's. Maybe they thought it would make a better storyline, or maybe they felt that Alison was more deserving of the role. Both seriously up for debate, if you ask me. But it seems clear when considering Season 5 in relation to the start of the previous season, that Alison ended up taking the seat on the show that was originally meant for Mona to fill. I also think it's necessary to bring up the likely role that contracts played in this decision. Cast members of a TV show are paid various amounts based on the size of their roles. Lucy, Ashley, Shay, and Troyan, the actresses who portrayed the core 4 liars, appeared in every one of the show's 160 episodes, and therefore would have been placed at the top tier in terms of salary. Now let's take a look at the episode counts for both Sasha and Janelle, who played Alison and Mona respectively. According to the PLL Wiki, Alison appeared in a total of 56 episodes out of the 94 that make up the first 4 seasons, or about 59%. Mona appeared in 54, or 57%. Because of this, it's fair to say that their roles in the first several seasons were about equivalent in terms of screen time, indicating that they may have held similarly termed contracts. Once Alison returned full-time to the show, the differences between her and Mona's amount of screen time became more distinct. In seasons 5 through 7, Alison appears in 53 out of 65 episodes, for a percentage of approximately 82%. Conversely, Mona makes appearances in only 36 episodes of the final 3 seasons, or 55%. This indicates to me that although Alison never appeared in every episode of a season the way that Aria, Emily, Hannah, and Spencer did, it is likely that Sasha's contract was renegotiated upon the start of season 5 in order to guarantee her more screen time and, therefore, a higher level of pay. A network like ABC Family does not necessarily have an unlimited supply of funds to pay their actors, and this may have played a big behind-the-scenes role in the decision to reverse Mona's fifth liar status. When it comes down to it, it seems as if the writers essentially chose Alison over Mona, promoting the former to the coveted liar status, while the latter's role steadily decreased. A second reason why I believe the writers may have gone back on their word to make Mona into a member of the inner circle comes down to her overall character. What made Mona such an iconic role and fan favorite was her extremely distinct, unique personality. As a sometimes ally, sometimes antagonist, Mona was able to maintain her snark and wit, remaining one of the most mysterious and entertaining characters.
One girl checks out, and another one checks in.
While it would have been possible to retain those traits as the fifth liar, it would have been undeniably more difficult to integrate those same characteristics into a form of her character that was supposed to be unquestionably a good person. A big part of Mona's intrigue came from the mystery of constantly wondering whose side she was truly on, and the writers may have determined that making her the fifth liar would have eliminated a key aspect of her role. I don't necessarily agree, but that's a whole separate discussion. Ultimately, regardless of why Mona's role as the fifth liar didn't end up panning out beyond the start of season 4, I think it's a shame that it was never truly explored. My personal opinion is that watching the liars learn to accept their former tormentor as a reformed friend would have been a far more interesting storyline than Alison returning to reclaim her previous place in the group. This is supported by the various storylines in which Mona does take on a liar-esque role, such as the dollhouse, the plot to break into Radley on Thanksgiving, and Charlotte's A reveal. In each of these storylines, Mona fits easily into the group dynamic while maintaining the characteristics that made her so unique.
I was saying that facetiously. Wow, that's an 11-letter word, Hannah.
I can only imagine that we would have seen less of a character regression and downfall in Mona than we ended up seeing in Alison, as Mona was a far more fleshed-out character in the first several seasons than Allie was in her brief flashback scenes. For years, I've held the opinion that the show would have benefited from Mona and Alison swapping the roles that they held by the end of the show, with Mona taking the place of the fifth liar, and Alison being the more nebulous, sometimes trustworthy ally to the girls. Considering just how badly Allie's character was botched by her return and redemption, however, maybe it's for the best that although Mona was relegated to more of a recurring character, she was able to retain the traits that made her into such an iconic role from start to finish.
You've been smoking the drapes.
As always, I'm curious to know your thoughts. What do you think of Mona's revolving role in PLL, and would you have liked to see her as the fifth member of the Liars group?